Oh, we made it. Hello, guys. How are we doing? Had a little bit of teething problems there getting through. I don't know whether it was me. My broadband. You know, the broadband you pay for. How we doing? Thank you for jumping on. I'll try and get this a little bit better. Innit? There we go. Yes, Catherine. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good day. Hope everyone has. Thank you for jumping on. Costa here, Phil. Pudding haters. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Catherine. I'm glad to hear that. Here we go. Free speech for all. We're off. Still full of paint. Still in the same work clothes. Not had a bath yet. Got washing to do. The list goes on and on. Spacey Tracer. Long time no read. How are you? Do you think he could be the serial killer as well? Well, I hope. Wow. Wow, just had an alert for my own channel. It's hard to say. I mean, there's no evidence to suggest that. Although he's killed people's spirits and souls, so he's always been as depraved in a sense. He's not done the act, but imagine the families he's ruined, and you know, we'll go into all that later, I guess. Yes, Catherine. Spacey Tracy. Yes, Sarah. Piper Dave. Another distraction. Well, could be. I mean, there was a D notice on this, wasn't there, for a good while? No one knew about this. You know, imagine wanting to know about it. Imagine being one of the jurors. Imagine being one of the police that had to sift through, what is it, I've seen in the press, over 200 hours of footage. And I also seen in the press that they seized not hard drive that was 1 terabyte, not 2 terabytes, but 3.74 terabyte hard drive. Now, not to suggest that that was full of images. No, it just sounds bad. That he clearly had a lot of footage, and I think the investigating officer suspects he's been doing this for up to 10 years, really, you know. I've got that, mate, Chris. I was like, I got in there, I got it done, I detaped it, rubbed it down, snagged it, thought I got away with it, got a call off my site manager, mate, you've missed this, you've missed that. Cheers, Great Brit. Thank you for Great Brit to jumping on as the mod. So Great Brit is in place. Thank you to everyone else for jumping on. Is a badger. What? Big up, Rep. Yes, War Kettle. How are you doing? Have you seen anything of Brian Harvey, Phil? No, I've got the legacy of Brian Harvey on my head, and no, I haven't, and I've got no reason to believe that that's going to change, really. So yeah, no, I don't, to answer that question. Hope he's doing well. Hope he's in a good place mentally, and good luck to the guy. Really, really mean that. So yes, thank you, guys, for jumping on. Good Catholic boy by all accounts. Yeah, miss you lots, mate. Hope all is well with you and the family. Sending my love. Mate, thank you very much for that, War Kettle. Missing you. Missing you. I bet you're my colour now, War Kettle. All that time you're spending over there. You know what I mean? What's going on? You'll be like the brother to another mother. I'll have to call myself the War Kettle brother. Big up, Phil. Your music is awesome, mate. Let alone your red pill speak. Keep it up. Yes, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked a few videos over the past couple of weeks. The link is unavailable. Oh, what? Right. You know what, mate? What I'll do then, thank you anyway, Great Brit. I'll have to have a look at the link again, and then if anything, if I do bring up that talking point, I'll put the link in the description. That's probably the best way of doing it. So yes, guys, right? Yes, your music is good. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I like playing my music. I like the fact that you're buzzing off it. It was something different just to chill out over the Christmas break. It was totally off topic, but it was something just to lighten the mood, put a bit of entertainment out. And music is it's spiritual in it. So if you did get off on it, then I'm only surmising that, it done some good for you. So brilliant. I can't say anything more about that. Can we get a Devon Tracy interview with Phil? I've no idea who is Devon Tracy. So you'll have to enlighten me. Yes, DJ Cuts. Yes, I did, mate. Thank you very much. And I hope you all of you guys, if you've not watched any of the videos and you've not seen any of the comments where I've wished you a happy Christmas and a happy new year, I'm hoping you had a real peaceful quality time with your family. I'm hoping it was all what you wanted. The only problem being is that as soon as January starts, look what happens. Going back to someone's point, all the distraction, isn't it great? As soon as you come off the TV over Christmas, watching your films and with the propaganda of bloody telly trying to tell you to go and buy a sofa on Boxing Day, and even though you don't need one, but you need one. So you go out and you go and do all that. As soon as you get to January, after New Year, after you bought your beers and all your other little bleeding bits of food that you're not going to eat, but they're convincing that you need to eat it, then all of a sudden, as soon as January comes out, you're thrust into more dark shizzle. And my French, I'm not French. There's going to be no French linguistics used in this stream. And if it does, then I'm not going to be happy. So I'm going to really refrain from using French. But anyway, enough waffling. Thank you very much, guys. Jay, tell Phil about the good work of Mr. T. Tracer. Yes, come on, Jay. Come on, Jay. Sit there saying nothing. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to know. Oh, right. Anyway, right. Thank you for jumping on. We can see by this headline what has transpired here, yeah? Right. We need a GoFundMe. Yeah, mate, you actually brought that point up, didn't you, Crafty Cockney? Let me just say one last thing. I think what I'm going to do, if I do break down into my French dialect today, I'm almost certainly then going to open up a PayPal. I'm going to put the link up there so I can get you good folks to put money in the PayPal. So then that money in the PayPal can go into my swear jar and my swear jar alone. Because if I do start, I'm going to need some financial assistance, guys. Because if I do go, I'm off. I'm off at the races and there's not going to be a jar big enough. So I don't want to go there. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, telling you, I'm not going there. But this is going to be deep. And once I get going, so I've spent 8 minutes, whatever, waffling on. Let's get down to business. So thank you, guys. Anyway, right. Let me read this article first, okay? No French, say it as it is in English. Oh, for God's sake, don't get me going. Right, let me do a bit of reading and then I shall revert back to some kind of notes. But I'll just give you a basic override, yeah, of what the media, and they've all kind of blanketed the same kind of song. So let's get it. Right, a Manchester student who raped up to 200 men who were out clubbing in the city centre has been exposed as Britain's worst rapist and jailed for life. Renyard Signa lured drunk men back to his city centre apartment at Montana House, Princess Street, so that's right in the city centre, before poisoning them with GHB. Now, the reports I get is that they can't totally confirm what drug that he used, to be fair. There's no actual concrete proof that I've seen, but they're alluding to GHB. However, he did use a drug where he knocked him the hell out, so you can say that. And if they were attributed to this, I'm not going to split hairs, but I have got to say that with all the different articles I read, there was not one that can categorically say toxicology reports or whatever. I know toxicology is probably of something if you're dead or whatever, but I'm sure they can ascertain and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, waffling, that aside, okay. Right, raping them and filming them while we're comatose. A series of Manchester Crown Court trials have heard. Now, this took 4 trials over an 18-month period, right? There was a massive D notice on this. No one knew about it. That's why I guess this story has knocked people for 6 because of the D notice, because you've gone from nothing to all of a sudden, Manchester's now got the worst rapist in the world. You know what I mean? That's going to psychologically hit the city of Manchester as well as the actual survivors, because I'm almost certain that if these were maybe travelling into the city, some of them won't be from Manchester. You know, so this is spread far and wide. And then you've got to remember as well, with every survivor, you've got a partner, you've got the mother and father of that survivor, you've got the siblings, you've got how many people, if you really want to do that, that are all going to be mentally affected by this and the nature of it. But let me keep reading because I could keep going on and on. The 36-year-old, described as a psychopath by police, has now been convicted of raping 44 men aged 17 to 36 over 2.5 years. Now, the investigating officer I've seen in an interview that even spoke that he could have been doing this for up to 10 years. So the number that they've got him for now doesn't mean to say that that's the final number. That is the scary shizzle with this. He was also found guilty of sexually assaulting an additional 4 victims. The extraordinary case can only be reported now after 4 trials spanning the course of 18 months concluded with guilty verdicts at Manchester Crown Court. I would not have liked to have been a juror on that case. No way. Detectives believe the true number of victims is at least 195 based on hundreds of hours of video footage the Indonesian national took of the attacks. Dozens of men have yet to be identified, dozens of men, and are unlikely to know that they were raped because of the memory wiping effects of the drug he used to knock out his victims. So what he'd done, he was basically coming out the flat, because he lived in a city centre kind of trendy flat that's in the middle of everywhere. Manchester's full of them now. And he'd wandered round and he was literally waiting predominantly outside 2 major clubs. Now, these clubs are frequented by students. Students in Manchester love the Manchester nightlife. And I can fully understand why, because it is a vibrant nightlife that is spread over pretty much the 4 corners of Manchester. When I was growing up, roughly at the age of where these attacks may have happened, roughly about in the early 20s, town consisted, or particularly the nightlife consisted of only one key area. Now it's spread all over. You've got 4 or 5 different regions with all vibrant areas. So, mate, this is a predator's dream if he's thinking along them lines. So his apartment apparently was only round the corner from these clubs. So what he's doing, he's going outside, he's not going in the club, he's just maybe waiting for vulnerable people. Now, when I say vulnerable people, I'm talking about people that maybe have just been thrown out the club, maybe cannot gain access to the club, maybe are throwing up outside of the club, or maybe just wandering around disillusioned. This is what he was preying on. In that sense of vulnerability, he would move in. Depending on the vulnerable person's plight is depending on how tactically he got them back to the house. In some occasions, it was on the law of charging the phone up because maybe the people were from out of town and without your phone, you're goosed. You can't contact your friends. Maybe on the law because they've got no money and they may need assistance and, you know, I'm Uber friendly, why don't you stay at mine tonight? Maybe on the law of come to my house and I can phone you a taxi, I only live round the corner. You know, maybe on the law of let me come in, you can come to my house, charge up your phone for a little bit, you can have a quick drink. While your phone's charged up, you can then phone your friends, try and locate them. So there was multiple different ways that this sick mofo was going about his business. Now, like I say, the age bracket is between 17 and 34, was it? So this ain't kids. Adulthood obviously starts at 18. So you could argue juvenile up to fully blown adults. Now, the funny thing is, when I first heard this story, right, my own stereotype, and I apologize for having that initial stereotypical thought, which was, this is a guy that is wandering around the homosexual, the gay village, and he's run amok. That's what I initially thought. I shouldn't have done that. It was probably wrong for me to think that. However, when I do get to find out the full story, I don't believe there's any cases. I'm not saying all of them, but I think predominantly these are heterosexual males who were studying in Manchester or maybe just on a night out. Either way, they were in a vulnerable position, but mainly students within that area. He was playing on their vulnerability. Manchester full of dreamers, Saturday night, open for anyone. It is. And you know what? Maybe the other chord that struck, Piper Dave, is it? That my darling eldest daughter has now turned 18. She's going to a uni, not in Manchester, just on the outskirts of Manchester. She's now finding her feet, socialising with her uni friends, her social circles expanding. She's going out, she's having drinks. This worries me. This was obviously men, but this is the fear that every father has, whether you've got a son or whether you've got a daughter, and when they're now venturing out into what you know is a frigging jungle. I was going to say something French there. That is the fear I've got as a 49-year-old father. So when I hear stories like this, I think of the vulnerability of kids that are running around town having a buzz, and like us all, getting inebriated, dogging the fog, getting left from your friends, maybe getting into an argument and walking off from your friends, which then leaves you in a vulnerable position. If you're not street savvy, I mean, don't forget, a lot of students are wet behind the ears. A lot of students come to main cities like this and they're targeted for their naivety. They're targeted because they're not street as in urbanized people. They come from probably more rural areas. They've come to a major city where they've not fully understood that you've got some really bad-minded people that float around the town centres at night. So the vulnerabilities are there to be picked off. If you can't even spell your name because you're that drunk, you're there. So, like I say, I'm a father now. I worry about that. I am so upset with the fall of people who are in my same age bracket that have now got a son from the age of maybe 17 to 34 that have now got a survivor for a son because the son was going out, experiencing life, grabbing it by the gonads, developing his social circle, what he's all about. And he's now been abused by what seems to be a meek and mild looking psychopath. That is difficult. I will say this, I don't want to talk like this in order to scare anyone from going into town, because town has got many beautiful people, but every town centre has a hell of a lot of cynicism and sinister shizzle going on within it. This has rocked me. One, because of what I cover. Two, because of abuse is abuse, no matter who's doing it. I've already seen people cover this with a certain slant to it. There's no slant. The guy was sick. All you can kind of say. The guy was sick, and I've missed a loads of comments. I never leave my mates on a night out. You shouldn't, mate. You shouldn't. Back in the day, football fans from Scotland used to come down places like Canal Street and just kick. Oh, yeah, gay bashing. Yeah, them days are gone. Whether you like it or not, you've got to be tolerant. But that's not the issue here at all. I mean, this guy actually boasted to his friends via texts that these people who he'd abused, and bearing in mind, these people still didn't know at this point, he was saying something like 2014, 2015 is the year that they are now gay or something like that. You know, like rubbing it in the nose that these people, I've kind of made them homosexual by raping them. So this is the sick thoughts that was going through his head. I mean, the one thing I will say to that is that all the articles I've read today, not one of them articles has spoke about the correspondence. Who was he talking to? What was their feelings behind it? Were they apprehended? Have they been questioned with this inquiry? They may have been. I'm sure they have, because they've got the screenshots. But in one of the actual screenshots of the texts, the reply that they got from his so-called friend was almost a jovial reply. And when you think of the gravity of what the guy is implying, that he's drugged and raped someone, and now to the point where I've made him gay, you think, how sick is the world? I had a couple of comments. There was one commenter, I'll know it is a decent guy on the I've not seen any comments where he suggests anything different. But he kind of intimated, well, you know, as far as I'm aware, this is kind of like gay stuff, so I'm not really bothered. I'm paraphrasing, so he didn't word it like that, but that's kind of what he was saying. Until I kind of put him straight that, no, this was heterosexual attack. This was the attack of 17-year-old kids. Imagine you've got a 17-year-old kid, guys. Come on. Whether you're a male or whether you're female, it's not hard here. It is not hard. It is not hard. Rape is goddamn rape, no matter who has done it. And even I've had the thought that, you know what, if this would have been 195 young girls from 17 to 34, the element, the shock that would have gone out over the country, I'm almost certain it would have been more. Not to say that people are not shocked by the fact that it's happened to men, but there's that stigma that's getting in the way of them both being on a level footing. I still do believe that. I mean, let's face this. If this guy was a Muslim, and there is no evidence to suggest he's a Muslim, the guy come from Indonesia, where Islam is worshipped over there, but there are also 6 other faiths that are worshipped over there. I've not read one article where it said what faith is in. Having said that, I'm not saying that there's no articles that is mentioning the faith. Now, people will have all kinds of politicalization over that, and you know, they've only mentioned that faith because they don't want to mention that. We don't want to, seriously, you know, I'm not calling the press liars. I'm not calling the press withholding the truth. What we do know is that this guy is a highly intelligent guy that is in his 30s now, I think. I think he had a master's or something like that as a first qualification. I might be wrong on that first qualification. What I do know is after that, he then went and got a PhD. So he went to two separate universities. He went to Leeds University and Manchester University. This guy is a highly intellectual individual that comes from a very affluent family in Indonesia. So there's no reason to suggest that this has got anything to do with Islam. And even to go there, you're blurring the lines and you're kind of taking it away from the fact that you've now got 200 people that are survivors. You can't do that. You go off what the attack is all about and what the guy is proclaiming. The guy was just of a homosexual nature that liked to treat people, violate people in such a horrid manner. You can't put that down to anyone, Faith. And Faith is not even going to come into it with this stream, and I'm not having it. Indonesian is Islamic facts. Mate, right, come on. I'm not going here, because if you do, I'm shutting this shit down straight away. So let me go here. For fuck's sake. I'm not having this, right? I tell you what is a fact, right? Read that. Read that. Indonesia's main religion is Islam. So you're correct. Though the government officially recognizes 6 distinct faiths. Yeah? 6. So if you want to build your narrative and go, well, I don't give a fuck about the other 6, as far as I'm concerned, this is Islamic. You're a fool. You're a fool to yourself, and you're doing a disjustice to survivors because you can't turn everything that happens to a fucking Islamic reason. So are we going to cut this shit out as I'm going to get a bath? And I'm not fucking about here. Pardon my French. But I'm not having this turning into it's the Muslims somewhere down the line, because it's not. And there's no evidence to prove that at all. You show me one scripture that he's adhered to. You show me one writing that was found in his apartment. You show me one Quran. You show me one flag, and I might take your point. But if now you're talking where there's 6 other religions, but yet, no, my narrative is it's Islamist. You're doing yourself a disjustice. You're doing everyone else a disjustice. We have not filled facts yet. Right. Okay, Phil, we'll move on. Well, seriously? It was reported today he was a Christian. Thank you very much. And I don't really care what faith he's adhering to. And because someone's reported as a Christian, because the world's going to crap, I'm not then going to think, you know what? I don't believe the press. I believe it's Islam. You're wrong. And I'll say it again. The reason why this movement is so on its knees is because of the narrative building that goes on like that. You're kind of building yourself. You're putting a nail in your own coffin. If you can't have a conversation about an Indonesian man who's not proclaimed anything to do with Islam, but then you can't help but go towards, well, Islam's got to have something to do with it, that means you're indoctrinated. Thank you. Let's move on, because that kind of cheesed me off a little bit and I'm not having it on here. My heart goes out to those who have been victims. How do you get over this? Imagine if it was your kid. Thank you. So let's get off the faith. Let's get off blaming a demographic and let's go back to the facts. Let's go back. The guy, 17 to 34-year-olds. Yeah? How would you like it, right? If your son come back after a night out, right? 2 years later, he's now 19 years of age. He gets a phone call from the police. Excuse me, can you confirm your name is Yeah, it is. Can you confirm that you might have been at A, B, and C on this such a day, on this such a year? I might have been, yeah. Why? Where's this going? Do you mind if we come and visit you? Okay. Knock, knock on the door. Sir, we have reason to believe we've just discovered footage of you being raped while you were knocked unconscious. See you later. We're investigating it, but we're going to just leave that on your head, yeah? What's that 17 or 19-year-old going to do? Imagine you've got people now, after that period of time, you've got people that are now have built lives. These 17-year-olds to 34-year-olds, they may have now got married, had girlfriends, stable relationships, had kids. Who knows? You're now introducing that into a whole family. Whole family. The abuse, the torture, the turmoil. There's some of these that have actually wanted to commit suicide. Some of these will never, ever be able to repair themselves. This is so uncanny. So uncanny. And the fact that this coming January as well, I'm like, what? This is going to be a long year. This is going to be a long year. And I'll say it again, right? I feel I've got to invest in holy water, right? Because when I see people putting comments like that and steering it to the narrative they want, one, it gets me mad, and it shouldn't, so I do apologise for that. Two, it makes me want to spray my phone with holy water. Because people are getting what they don't see. They're getting so indoctrinated on their own radicalised thoughts themselves that they are just as much as the problem that I'm freaking reporting on. And I'm like, stay away from me. I don't even follow the cloth, but stay away from me. Because your mentality is not where I'm at. Your mentality will not work. Your mentality is about to bring forth a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that worries me. I say, regardless of faith, name and shame. That's it. That is it. The sooner this movement stops with this freaking Islam, Jews, the moment you're going to actually be able to talk about the problem, you can't do it now. You cannot actively talk. I can't even talk about an Indonesian without it, too near to Islam for me. Really? I was watching a video before, and not only was it talking about, I don't believe that he's a Catholic, I believe he's from Islam, that then another comment was in it, this is what happens when you get non-whites in your country. And I'm like, spray holy water on the comment section. Can't deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not sat on this channel to try and talk to people with such a low energy. You're not bringing my energy down in order to lift you up. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you can't understand where that is all gone wrong in your head, if you can't understand that not only are you not getting anywhere, but you've never got any chance with talking about even normal abuse without making that a far-right issue. How can you make this a far-right issue of a guy that's just date raped 200 guys? If they show footage where he's saying freaking Allah Akbar while he's doing this act, I'll go, right. If he's reciting the Quran while he's doing this act, I'll say, right. If they go back and trace his family to be an extreme jihadist, I'd say, right. None of that is about. None of it is about. But yet, you're still going to hold the narrative. If I told you it was Father Christmas's fucking son, pardon my French, you'd still say Islam's got something to do with it. And you're making it difficult. You're making it difficult. 70 victims weren't identified. Yeah. So instead of thinking of a faith, why don't you think of the people out there? Think of more survivors now, however they've been raped, whatever ideology, whether it's Catholicism, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Protestants, whether it's frigging Hindu, whatever it is, the faith, leave it there. The guy's sick. The guy's got a complex. The guy's a psychopath. Yes, Exxon. Mate, where have I been? I've no idea where I've been, mate. Planet common sense, because come back to this. Bad is bad. Yes, Catherine. Be happy, move on. I am happy. I just get frustrated, guys. I'm sorry. I'm doing this shizzle for nothing, right? And I'm not having people come on giving me their weird mentality when I'm not having it. I already said to Great Brit before, I find it hard talking about Islam on this channel because I get that. So my mentality is keep it clear, keep it concise. Abuse is abuse, no matter where it comes from. Keep talking about it with all the different demographics. One day, when people actually get the message that I don't care what colour your skin is, I don't care what religion you follow, I don't care what ideology you are, bad is bad. If it's bad, then I've got every right to call it out. And when people actually get that message on this channel, then I'm going to double back on radical Islam. Until then, no. I'll talk about it in little bits and bobs, and I will support PAG, Parents Against Grooming. But other than that, no. And if that means the demise of this channel, I don't mind. Seriously don't mind. So don't think unsubbing or kind of turning away from the red pill bothers me. It doesn't. I kind of want to go when I see this. You don't understand, guys. You don't understand. I want to be positive, but I'm finding it hard. People like to twist the truth to suit their narrative. Thank you, Todd. That's all this is. Religion is divide and conquer and mental illness. Them saying all that are just to sabotage your video. They are critical. And you know what? Religion is divide and conquer and mental illness. All of them have got traits within them that are bad, aren't they? Yeah? So because we've got a grooming issue with what I perceive as radical Islam, I don't kind of put that anywhere on its own, because then I look at the other faith over there called Catholicism, where you've got a load of people with dog collars on doing all kinds of shizzle, and they have been for years. So as much as I want to go, we need to stop this, I'm not going to then partition it off into different faiths and go, well, I'm not going to talk about that one because Christianity is close to my heart, so let's leave that one alone and let's talk about them over there. No, you're never going to get anywhere unless you call abuse out for what it is. I don't care who's done it. Faith is a gift I have yet to receive. You know what? I've got faith in light, and I can see light in people. I can see light in people of all different faiths. And that's my faith, that I can come on here now and go, you know what? There's many people on here that are brilliant people. They might not have my same ideals. They might be totally different in the way they look, the way they act, the body weight, freaking hell, how many toes they've got. But fundamentally, it's what's going on in here. And that ain't a certain religion. That ain't a certain skin colour. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to do that. Light is the giver of life. Yes, Indica, Head Shop. I'm loving some of these avatar names. Eunice, come on Eunice, what have you got to say? I was given that date drug once out in a bar and it was so strong I was out of it. Then the next day I woke up in a strange man's house. What? That then asked me to marry him for real. No lie, wasn't he? Lie, he wasn't a Muslim. Well, you didn't even have to put whether it was a Muslim or not, because I wouldn't have asked you that question anyway. It's only these muppets that assume that, you know what I mean? But Eunice, I am sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. And you're obviously a brave individual to come out and say that, first of all. So fair play to you. I hope that the person who you're talking about was kind of apprehended for that. I hope he was, and I hope he didn't cause you. I just hope. You know. But fair play to you for kind of putting that out in the comment section. Thank you very much. How many toes? You got to count the toes, TJ. You are a real Brit, Phil. Thank you, Stanley. Don't care for religion. You can find fault wherever you look at it. Just depends how judgmental. Yeah, you can. But then you can't hold your own conformity bias, can you? You know what I mean? And I think the judgmental's kind of going, well, one face better than another here at this point. That's the way it's looking. And I'm like, really? We've got radical Islam. You got people that don't assimilate. You got a over irrational migration flow that's exacerbating the situation. You've got grooming gangs. You've got people that don't want to assimilate. But then you've got a white population that obviously you've got certain paedophiles within that group. You've then got an establishment that are helping and facilitating and appeasing it. You've got a media that don't want to call that side out as well. You've got a mainstream media. You've got the entertainment industry that know all about paedophilia. They've got many high focal people within the entertainment industry that are doing it. You go and ask Ricky Gervais what he thinks about it, yeah? So then you're going to come back and go, well, no, the major problem's Islam, yeah? Arthur Hollywood shagging all the kids, pardon my French, you know what I mean? But let's not worry about that. We're just talking about him with the headdress on there, you know what I mean? Crazy logic. And I'm sorry to go on, but that really cheesed me off because I wasn't expecting it. Phil, do you think PAG UK can help the victims? Well, I think the victims have been cared for at St. Mary's Hospital. There's a facility there because this is an old case, don't forget. So these guys, I think to the guy, what I will say about this Ragnar Rain or whatever he's called, he's been inside for 2 years. And like I say, the court case has been going 18 months. So I guess they've just brought him out, added more on. So in that time, you can imagine there will be a safeguarding rehabilitation program for these survivors. That would have already took place. I've seen an interview from a lady that worked at St. Mary's who mainly dealt with the people. She seemed a very nice lady and was on it. So yeah, I'm sure they've been kind of cared for 2 years down the line, I would have thought. TJ, I was 14 when I got raped. I never reported it, and yes, it eats me up inside. Catherine, bless you, and thank you very much for being so brave and articulating yourself on this channel. See, this is what I want. True strength and positivity. That's it. And you know what? Fair play to you, Catherine, coming out and saying that. I was just talking to a survivor today. And he might be on the stream now, I don't know. I'm going to be doing an interview with him in the next few weeks from Nottingham. A lovely lad, and when he tells me his story, wow, crazy. All the adversity he's gone through, the anger he's gone through, the violence he's gone through, the criminality he's gone through. He's now at a positive stage where he's like, I've got to get my story out. But because of all my criminality, because of my negativity, getting my head around what had happened to me, that has gone against me in terms of me now moving forward, in terms of solicitors wanting to work. It's a so sad story, you know? So I'm hoping these people will remend themselves, because I can't ever articulate in words what it must feel like to have that happen as a male, to be demasculated like that and not even know about it, and then for it to come round a couple of years later. Imagine the embarrassment, the horror, the disgust, the anger, humiliation, despair. You know, I guess some might not even want to tell anyone once the police have told them. Not all of them are going to go, hey, mum and dad, you know, when I was out 2 years ago, you know what, Catherine can be testament to that. So, well, what PAG does is indicative of good people trying to help stop stroke prevent the abuse of children. Awareness will help prevent others falling foul to groomers. Indeed, Joe Stewart, thank you very much for that. That's all they're trying to do. They're doing it on a shoestring budget. They're doing it with a mass of volunteers. Some of them survivors, some of them not. Some of them just concerned citizens of Rochdale. All of them just want to help. Like any other organisation, you're going to get some kind of bumps in the road, but they are trying. And I think the lack of funds, the lack of massive support is taking its toll, but it's not stopping. I mean, one thing I will say, before I heard about this story, I heard about a couple of other stories, and one was from Pag. Billy was phoned me last night, and I can't talk too much about it, but basically a dog walker was walking, I think down a canal or down a quiet street. I'd noticed a man with a knife holding a woman up. And I think it was sexual reasons, I do believe. I don't know what happened, and I don't know what happened next. All I do know is that the woman ended up, for whatever reason, getting the knife off the guy and stabbing the guy, right? I'm not sure where the guy's been stabbed. It wasn't fatal. There was blood. He'd left DNA, and he fled. And she may still have the knife, I don't know. She put a warning out on social media. Billy done a live last night on the social media. Apparently, few moments after that, there was another instance where someone was attacked. Whether it was the same person or not, I've no idea. No idea. So I heard that story early on in the day. Bearing in mind, I'm working on a video which I uploaded last night. My youngest daughter comes home. We were both having tea together. She started to tell me about one of her friends who doesn't go to her school, but one of her friends. Bearing in mind, my youngest is 13 years of age. She tells me that a friend on the way to school got robbed, right? 13, got a school uniform on, blazer, the full works, gets robbed, right? She gets robbed by what she can describe as 3 males in hoodies. Don't know how old, don't know what ethnicity, don't know what. Yeah? Can't say nothing. My daughter believes, and this was verified, by the way, because the mother was actually putting posts out on Facebook, so this ain't Chinese whispers, this actually happened. The little girl, you know what they robbed? They robbed the bag, they robbed the blazer, they robbed the shoes, to the point where she couldn't go to school. She couldn't go to school, hence her mother putting something out on social media. So no doubt a phone and everything else has gone. That's why her mum obviously couldn't get. I don't know the full details, but we do know that. Now, then I'm working on this video, and then my wife tells me about this case. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm working on pretty much my first video proclaiming that, you know, and I've just been hit with these 3 stories that are so big, so horrible in nature, and slap you back down to earth with what is actually going on. So if you felt that you were having a good time and you just got over your Christmas period and you feel nice and chilled, now I'm going to give you 3 stories that's going to bring you right back down again, you know? Right, TJ, sorry, mate, in that rant, have you been trying to say something and I've missed it? Right, you've saying something? Right, I'm going right back here. Going right back because TJ is saying something there. Right, okay. Right, Catherine. So obviously Catherine and TJ are talking here. Thank you, guys. And thank you for using my channel to actually open up. Catherine, I'm still scared to open up. Heart pounding at the moment. Oh, Catherine. Well, you know what, Catherine? If there's any solace that you've got lended ears, you've got lended ears all around you. There's not a lot I can do from this stream. I can listen. I can do whatever I can to help you to facilitate to live a positive life. I'll do whatever. Do whatever. If I could alleviate the way you feel now, I'd do it. I don't know how I can do it. I don't know whether this stream plays a part in it, but I would do that. So that really saddens me. And that's what I don't see a lot on these streams with people. They get outraged, but they don't feel. Yeah? It happens, but because I was 17 in a nightclub, I was too scared. So this is TJ. Sorry to kind of bring your comments out, guys, but I'm guessing you don't mind if you've said them openly. So, you know, we've got 2 survivors now talking openly about things that have happened when they were young. How about Indonesia? All right, let me just go back to TJ and Catherine. Right. TJ, I still remember every little detail. Well, honestly, you know, you guys, yeah? This is, unfortunately, right? This is what these new set of survivors are now going to have, isn't it? If we can all resonate to something, is that there's going to be something lost now within inside these people. Maybe something within you two guys. I hope not. But you can't help but something of a light nature has just been stripped off. The human spirit, the human soul has been affected. Can you ever get round that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not qualified to say. All I'm qualified to say is that I guess anyone can try and make the best of things. But to say that anyone can alleviate that, no. Even if with these guys, the actual act itself was, they were unconscious. So they've got no mental memory of it. What they've got a mental memory of is that it happened. So that maybe Catherine and TJ can say otherwise, but maybe they've been spared by some psychological damage, but they're still getting a hit. And that's what I see with abuse victims, survivors. That's what gets me pissed the hell off. That's what makes me go mad at someone when instead of listening to people like this and resonating because of a story like this, they want to go all faith orientated on it. That's got nothing to do with it. Listen to the people. Listen to the freaking people. And it's hard. It's hard. Sitting on a phone for an hour today talking to a survivor I've never spoke to, telling me about his story. In a way, he's delivering it. He's delivering it like at 300 miles an hour because he's got so much to tell. He's that pissed off, but he don't know how to assemble it. So he's just going boom, 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 boom. And I'm listening going, right, we might need to talk about this again. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking him because if I was given that opportunity that happened to me, I don't even know whether I'd be phoning someone. I might be in prison. Who knows what happened? I might be in alcare. I might be an abuser myself. It feels, have I missed? Right, I couldn't get rid of my clothes for 15 years. See, now a lot of people might not understand that, TJ, but I can. I can understand that. This thing that you've got where no matter what's happened, it's happened. And maybe that's you saying, well, I haven't fully let go of what's happened yet. So then clothes are a symbolized kind of symbol of what, I don't know. I'm not saying that as in a trophy. I'm just saying as in a mental kind of scar. Maybe the day you get over it, the day you feel that it's time to let it all go, is the day you put them in a bleeding bin and burn it. I've no idea what is going through your mind there, TJ. I don't condemn you for that. Freaking hell, whatever gets you to a better plane, mate. Or I'm TJ. I'm assuming you're a male, but the amount of times I have said mate and the commenting's gone, oh, he thinks I'm a male. So I do apologise because I call a load of females mates as well. You have made this the first step. Yes, Joe, Catherine Holiday, you have made the first step there. Are all understanding people out there who can and will help. Without a doubt, without a doubt. My hair was long, this is Catherine. My hair, I don't mind, right? I don't mind sacking the rest of this now, right? And literally just concentrating on these two guys. Seriously. Now, whether people find that uninteresting, I don't, because I think something good's happening here. So I'm going off this. Catherine, my hair was long, curly blonde soon after I cut it short and coloured it brown. You know what? That rings true with another survivor, Dawn. Beautiful soul from down Yorkshire way. Dawn Bland, survivor from very early on. What she always mentioned is, and she writes poems to try and, get her head around it, quantify it, ease herself, help herself, The one thing she always mentions is that she had long blonde hair. And I think the person who she was abused by at the time used to touch her hair, kind of play with her hair. And obviously, after the abuse, maybe the hair has become a trigger. The hair has become a symbol of something disgusting. I don't know. You can't say. I'm not about to say what's going through the mind of a survivor. They've got their own way of putting it. It's up to them and their thoughts. I respect their thoughts. But one thing she done, I don't know how soon after she done it, shaved her head. She's got a hairstyle like mine. A woman, a crew cut. She has a ritual of every Monday go to the barbers, get it off. And one thing I will say, Catherine, and I'm speaking to Catherine directly here now, the thing that used to really get her anxiety, and I'll never forget she mentioned this to me, is that when it gets to like bank holidays and other holidays whereby on the Monday the barbers wasn't open. So because the barbers wasn't open, she couldn't cut her hair on that Monday. Because she couldn't cut her hair, anxiety set in. You can imagine spiral. And that sounds really like irrational to some people, but it's not irrational if you're a survivor. I'm sure there's no book that anyone could ever write on how people are affected by abuse, because it's all a case of interpretation. Each individual is gonna have something other than what someone else has got. It's common sense, So bless you guys, bless you. I'm sorry I have to go. Oh, Catherine, God bless you. Thank you for being open. I'm hoping I didn't make you feel worse in any way. But thank you for your contribution. I intervened in a domestic, but the man on the floor when the woman went nuts on me, proper crazy. Yeah, because some people might not interpret. It's crazy when you see that, when someone's being physically abused, but yet out of Stockholm syndrome, if you try and intervene, they'll go on you because they're still in love with this person that's actually knocking 10 bags of crap out of him. It's Yeah, Catherine, you're an absolute star for what you've done today, and TJ, and anyone else. Even if you're on here and you don't want to say nothing, you are. Because I know I have many survivors that often comment, and I love that. I love the fact that they feel that this channel's an open channel where they know they can say it, and I'm just not going to fob it off. Don't care. And I don't have no hidden narrative. So if you tell me, well, the abuse happened from over there, I'm going to go, well, my channel's about from abuse from over there. No, abuse from everywhere. Every bleeding where. You're not, although they will appall me. Oh, yes, I made it a lovely Christmas and lovely New Year till Trump. Yeah, that's. Oh, let's not get into that. I'm not into all this World War Three business. I don't care. Not into it. Not into it. Any evidence this guy might be a canal pusher? As in, what is that? That's a terminology I'm not really familiar with, mate. People usually express anger to avoid addressing their sadness. You do, you're damn right. People normally become alcoholics. People normally break the law. People normally do all types of things because they're sad, because they're traumatized, because no one wants to listen to them, because in some ways, because no one's listening to them, and then they act in a certain way, then they're deemed as the bad guy, and then that means no one's definitely going to listen to them, so then that sends them on a further spiral. If you imagine, it's like being sat on, I'm not sure what you call them, slides on a fairground where you have the, like a doormat, and you sit at the top and it just goes round and round and round. Kaleidoscope, is it, or something? I don't know. But it's like that, innit? Imagine how that must just send you low, send you down, you know, it's horrible. How can you wake up and not know something has been inside you? Mate, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I'm not going to say, obviously they did, because these are heterosexual males, unless the press are lying, which the press are not, are they? So maybe because of the nature of the drug. And I think one of the, actually the social care worker, or the one of the ladies that was working with the victims in the aftercare, mentioned it in context, like, because they were already inebriated, because they, on top of being inebriated, they were given such a severe amount or quantities of a drug which then comatose them. Yeah, the intercourse may not have caused any abrasions, any bruising. I don't know. It's not a conversation I want to really get into too much. But I can't also say that every victim would most definitely have to have shown bruises, abrasions, forced death. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. You don't know. You have to take them on the word that not everyone may know. If a woman's raped, if she's unconscious, and I mean out cold, would she know in the morning if it was not aggressive in any way? I don't know. And same again, it's not topics I really want to touch on. I'm just trying to make sense of your point. But you have got a right to say that. I mean, you know, that is probably the obvious point. People, the average person would go, well, seriously, if I wake up and I know I've been raided from behind, I'm going to know that. So, I don't know. Has someone thumbed it down? Really critical? Mate, honestly, thumbs down. It's almost laughable now. It's funny because when I done the initial stream earlier today talking about this stream that I was going to be doing, I had one person had to pedantically correct me on my spelling. And to be fair, I did spell the word worst instead of worst. Okay, so he corrected me. But then I had nothing to say about the topic matter. Just had to put worst and spell it right. Then I had 3 thumbs down. I'm like, well, you thumb it down. Well, come in the comment section and tell me why you thumbed it down. So it's one of them. You're going to get people thumbing down. Now, what I will say is, would you thumb it down if your 17-year-old just got drugged and raped? Would you be thumbing that down? Because I guess you wouldn't be. Rape happens in the forces as well. Okay, TJ, 50 this year. I'm 49, mate. So a similar age bracket. And it was 1987. Right. Okay. So it's a long, long time, my friend. A long time. What we're talking, 13. We're talking 33 years. 33 years. And you're still talking about it on a stream. That's the effect. That's the effect violation has. So fair play to you, my friend. And I'm hoping you've had some kind of solace out of doing this. Seriously. Rape happens in the forces as well. Yeah, it does. It happens in all institutions, doesn't it? I'm supposing. Abuse, bullying, rape. I remember when I was in Cyprus several years ago, before kids, the forces in Ayia Napa was causing a big stir because of the amount of rapes that were going on in Ayia Napa by the forces, by young cadets that were out there, that were positioned for 2-3 years, in Ayia Napa, having a good time, blah, 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 blah. But then just running amok when they're out on the night, when they've got 2-3 days off. You know what I mean? You're getting people in Ayia Napa, right? I'd be stood in a bar, not in Ayia Napa, this was in Limassol, yeah? MPs are walking in. MPs are walking in, looking to see if there's any squaddies in there, yeah? So, what religion is that then? Bad is bad. Thank you, TJ. Well, nice one, mate. And you're a new subber as well, so my God. I'm glad this stream has helped. Piper Dave, I'm sure many of them suspect but felt unable to say anything. There's probably that as well, Great Brit. Very good point. Red caps, Phil. I'm a strong alpha lass. Oh, TJ, look, I've called you mate, and you just said it, and you're, look, there you go. So I've misappropriated your gender, and I do apologise, my lady. I'm a strong alpha lass. I know strong real men when I meet them, and I would never happen to me now. Yes. Oh, like that girl that got raped by, yeah, I did hear about that. And I'm sure that got very political all of a sudden. And it's become a political hot potato. And it does sound like it, that the girl has been beaten into submission somewhat over the geopolitical arena that crime placed itself in. It is so effed up when you can't talk about a rape, possibly a rape, because some people are saying consensual, blah, 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 blah. That must be a complex case, because then again, you've got to say it. I'm going to call out squaddies when you go to Ayia Napa, you go to Limassol and all them places. I've also got to call out men and women of a young age that go out there and absolutely get rocked out of their head, okay? So if you think a guy in Manchester from Indonesia that's come over to Manchester on a student's visa is now going to do it in the middle of the town centre, how easy is it going to be when you're in a foreign country, you can't even speak the language, you're walking around, just been sick, you've lost your mates, you don't even know where you are, you can't understand anyone, but yeah, so... sad, innit? Sad. She's coming home on Tuesday. It's a sad story. I hope she's okay. I hope she's in a good place. And I hope, she can come to terms with what's happened. And karma. I hope karma takes effect. If judiciary is not going to do anything, the last thing you've got is karma. So maybe these people that have perpetrated this attack, that may have started consensual and may ended up in a rape, or may have been just a flat out rape, or may have been just totally consensual, but it doesn't sound like it. Let's see what happens with karma. All right, Gary, you all right, mate? Wish I had a louder voice in 2020. TJ, your voice has now been heard. So 2020 is now, and that louder voice has just been projected out in the most positive way, not without anger, not without frustration, just saying it as it is. Acceptance, acknowledgement. And I've got a lot of respect for people that do that. I've got more respect for people that do that than the people that come on my comment section and want to get outraged over abused people, but have never been abused themselves, but then want to direct that outrage at certain demographics, certain religions, certain faiths, certain colours of skin. I'm being serious. I've kind of lost my mojo with all that now. I'm coming back to reality. And that's where I'm at. Boots on the ground, looking at the whites of people's eyes when they're a survivor. Looking at them, listening to them, talking to them, because they're more important. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. Yes, Stanley, thank you, mate. Thank you. I've got 53 subs just on my voice. I do swear I'm Tourette's. You're not the only one. You know what's French for Tourette's? Because I've got the French equivalent to Tourette's. Did anyone know that? That is a rare condition. Only happens to 1 in 300,000. Not just Tourette's, it's a rare French form of Tourette's. Oh, thank you, TJ. But honestly, you know, when you say you make sense to me, I resonate with people like you. It's listening to people like you that make me go back and think and make me think, right, next time I'm doing a video, I'm not going to be so outraged. You know what? There's survivors out there that have actually gone through this. So, you know, calm yourself down, get it right, try and be balanced. Stop pointing fingers unless they actually need to be pointed, you know? Oh dear, Phil, you is smoking in the house. Oh, what about the paintwork? If it was your wife. Yeah, my wife smokes as well, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I do smoke in the house. Not around the kids though, but I'm not going to stand outside. When I do paint in other people's houses, I respect their decision and I stand outside, but you know what I mean? I'm a 50-year-old male practically. Bye, Phil. Yes, Stanley, thank you for jumping on. I'm going to get going now anyway, guys. He works as a painter, didn't just paint his house. Maybe he did whatever. You want him to go outside to continue his stream? Yeah, I'll stream it in like sub-zero temperatures just to finish my fag. Look, I ain't had a bath, Eunice. Oh, well, it was a fag. But I get your point. It's not very PC to smoke in a house, is it? So anyway, guys, I've probably rambled a bit. You've seen a little bit of frustration, a little bit of understanding. Hopefully you can resonate with whatever you can resonate from it. And thank you for being positive. Thank you for listening. Red Pill Phil. Thank you for the survivors that have interjected as well. No, Eunice, you don't have to be sorry. I like being ribbed. I like it. You've got every right to say what you smoking, Phil. I love it. Love it. All good banter. That's fine. It's called mutual respect. And you know what? The one thing I will say before I go, right, is that I do feel that I've got online friends with this YouTube shizzle that I've got going on. Not just people that go, yeah, Phil, every video you make's brilliant. No. You get some that go, well, yes, I like bits of it, I don't. That's understandable, it's your opinion. But yet, the decent people. And that's what it is. No matter what the politics, mine and Eunice's politics are slightly different. For whatever reason, all good with that. The fact of the matter is, we can talk on a civil between one another, no matter what. And I love that. I love the fact that I'm collating some positive individuals on this channel, not wrongins, not people who lose it, you know. So thank you to everyone for being so positive, so constructive within this stream. Hopefully it's been informative for you. And I guess if you've got any young children, if they're about to embark on the adventure which is going out in town, not to say that you're going to have a psychopath like this on the streets, but there's always a fear of watching, leaving the drinks on the bar, being around, making sure you stay with your friends, making sure if you get a cab home with somebody else, share the cab. Might cost you a few extra quid to go around the houses, but it might be better and safer for you to do that in the long run. So there's all different precautions that you can get from this, really. So hopefully everyone will be safe, but bad things will still carry on. I don't want to bring everyone down, but thanks a lot anyway, guys. Yes. Yes, Black has Black. Yeah, you'll have to go back. Yeah, cheers, Joe. Hope you all have a good day, positive day. I'll be back. I'm going to be Pag tomorrow night, so there's going to be either a stream out about that or even a video to follow up. And obviously other videos popping up on various subjects as well. So thanks a lot, guys, as ever, for your support. I love you all, even the pissing, thumbers and downers. You bang out of order, but I love you.